Gaming, a 70 man on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Sileo, Tales of a New Dawn. So before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is now up for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. Torolf's is going to be coming out soon, y'all. But yeah, I also want to give a special shout out to our patrons. Y'all are wonderful and you are lovely, and y'all all are going, from now on, y'all are going to get a special shout out at the end of the video, so stay tuned for the end of my videos where we have our special awesome new outro by our incredible and talented Fox AI L. And let's go ahead and jump right back into it, y'all. Let's get some of that delicious Tiger Daddy. Alright. Come now, do you think me some straight-laced bore? I will have you know I fronted a rock band in my younger years. I take it that you giving me your... I'm still confused about what kind of voice I should do for Dom. I take it that's you giving me your blessing to drill this lock. Whatever else. The building is long abandoned, is it not? There is surely no harm in a little breaking and entering. Dom approached the door before kneeling down and retrieving the drill from his bag. Loading it with a drill bit, he lifted it up to the lock and pressed it against the metal, only for the door to slowly creak open. Huh? I swear this was locked when we were last here. With a shrug, Dom packed the drill away and continued opening the door. Alas, there were tree roots blocking it from opening fully, and Dom had difficulty getting the door to budge. This looks like a job best suited to one such as I. Please, stand aside. Dom obediently followed Ty's instructions before Ty, preceded by what was no doubt a deliberate flex of his huge muscles, shoulder-barged the door. An assault that proved too much for the rusty hinges to bear, causing the door to come free and fall inward, kicking up a cloud of dust upon impact with the floor. Nice! See, Hunter? Told you it was a good idea to bring Ty along. Ty stood by the door, motioning for us to enter with a polite bow. It hardly seemed the place for such politeness, but nobody was complaining as we each made our way inside, with Ty taking up position at my rear. Heh. The interior of the house was a close match for the exterior in many ways. The walls were covered in faded, torn wallpaper, the floor scattered with debris and showing obvious signs of water damage, no doubt closely related to the sunlight beaming down upon us through large holes in the ceiling. There were a few assorted items of furniture scattered throughout in varying stages of disrepair, and they, like everything else, were coated in a thick layer of dust. Despite the unlocked door, it appeared as though nobody had been inside in a long, long time. Watch your step, guys. An old building like this probably has a basement or cellar of some sort. The floorboards don't look too stable. You wouldn't want to fall through. Having acknowledged Dom's warning, we instinctively split into pairs once more, with Dom and Axel heading to what looked like a kitchen, while Ty and I seemingly stumbled upon an old and disused bedroom. Within lay a rusty bed frame topped with an old rotting mattress and several items of broken and water-damaged wooden furniture. My exploration consequently disturbed the thick layer of dust coating the room, sending me into a brief coughing fit before gradually regaining my composure. Are you alright? Yeah, just dusty. Doesn't look like there's anything worthwhile in here. What had you expected? Ancient treasure? Sadly, that sort of thing usually will not be found in such a place. It is, however, a touch more bare than I had expected. Ty's eyes darted to the bed as he scratched his chin and thought. Suddenly there was a gleam in his eyes. He turned back towards me. Say, that looks like as good a place as any. Fancy a brief distraction. What? Are you serious? No way, it's all moldy and gross. Besides, Axel and Dom are just in the other room. Besides, what about yesterday? What are you even thinking? Very well then, I will not push the matter. With a stern look of disapproval, I shook my head at Ty before returning to the room in which we'd started, with Ty following closely behind. Almost in perfect sync with Ty and me, Dom and Axel mirrored our return from the opposite end of the room, with the four of us reconvening in the center. Did you guys find anything? Nothing. You? Nope. The place has been pretty much stripped, apart from some old useless knickknacks. I hate to say it, but I think this place is a bust. May I inquire as to what you would hope to find here? Something interesting. I don't know exactly what. I explored an old hospital outside Somerville a few years back. A morgue? That sounds eerie. It was. It had this big sealed door on it. Someone had etched "Help Me" into the metal on the inside. Wow, that sounds so cool! Take it now. I don't think it was legitimate or anything, though. Probably some kids did it to screw with the urban explorers like us. Long after the place had already closed down. Still, I wish I could have seen it. It wasn't like Axel to find such an idea so exciting. Anyway, sorry guys, I think we've been barking up the wrong tree on this one. Shall we get a move on? Are you not forgetting something? What do you mean? We have yet to explore the cellar. Oh, that. Hate to say it, but we found nothing that looked like an entrance to a cellar. Neither did we. Might I trouble the three of you to step aside? Huh? Actually, one second. Oh, let me, put my phone over here so I can start charging it. There we go. Okay, perfect. Phone is now being charged. Okay. Huh? Ty pointed downward at our feet. Following his finger, the three of us realized in unison that we were stood upon an ancient mottled rug. We cleared out, allowing Ty to grab the rug and toss it behind him in a single confident motion, kicking up even more dust as a consequence. After a brief shared coughing fit, the dust settled to reveal a cast iron trapdoor, which, by some bizarre and unexplainable miracle, was completely absent of any rust. Damn, Ty, aren't I glad you're here? We'd have never found this otherwise. Yay, we're going down there, right? Please tell me we're going down there. It'd be dark, though, right? Do we have torches? What kind of urban explorer would I be if I hadn't come prepared? Reaching into the same bag, which contained the drill and had previously housed our lunch, Dom pulled out 2 flashlights, handing one of them to me. Wait, there's only 2 flashlights, yet you came prepared with 4 sandwiches? Yeah, sorry, I didn't have the money to buy any more. I spent most of my paycheck on things Axel and I will do when we move into a new place. Worry not, Hunter. I am more than happy to share with you, and I am sure our friends here will share with one another as well. Yeah, alright, let's see what the cellar holds. Dom reached down, grabbed the handle, and attempted to lift the door open. It would hardly budge. He sighed, his shoulders forward and tailed between his legs before turning to Ty expectantly. Ty, having grown comfortable in his elected role as communal beefcake, repeated Dom's attempt, only for the trapdoor to swing open with what looked like considerable ease. Axel clapped excitedly before taking up the lead and heading down the ladder. Dom was next, followed by myself and finally Ty. As I climbed downward, I couldn't help but sneak a look upward at Ty's muscular glutes. Despite how complicated things had become between the two of us, I couldn't deny the man had an incredible butt. The 4 of us regrouped to take in our surroundings, and as it would happen, this was no ordinary cellar. Constructed with cobblestone and adorned with iron braziers, it more resembled some sort of dungeon, a dungeon that was at least hundreds of years old. Jackpot! Look at this place! Who knew something like this existed in Woodcrest? How strange. Wow! How old do you think this place is, Dom? I don't know. Hunter? Ty? Ty wandered over to one of the braziers, closely inspecting the metalwork for several moments before turning back to us. This sort of ironwork shows the telltale signs of techniques used around 800 years ago. 800? Are you sure? That doesn't... Makes sense. You're right. After all, Woodcrest was only founded 90 years ago. This building predates that by a long, long time. Did people live here before Woodcrest? Clearly they must have, given the existence of this facility. Alas, I'm afraid I have no answers beyond that. This is weird. Do you think we should leave? Maybe this isn't a good idea. Oh, come on, Dom. This is exciting. We're exploring a real ancient ruins. Ancient, certainly, but I would hardly say ruins. Unlike the building above, everything down here seems to be curiously well maintained. Maintained? Are you suggesting people come down here regularly, then? Certainly seems that way. Man, I don't like this. Come on, you chicken! Buck, buck, buck! Hey, what the hell, Axel? Can you not say stuff like that? That's just a racist stereotype. Oh my god, just shut up and let's go. What the hell? What's gotten into you? Let's go! Dom glanced back at Ty and me with a look of confusion and doubt before reluctantly following Axel, who was already walking ahead of us. Ty and I looked at one another, shrugging in unison before walking briskly to catch up. After several minutes of awkward silence between the 4 of us, we'd arrived at a fork in the road where 2 adjacent paths proceeded deeper into the dungeon. Well, gentlemen, it would seem there is a decision to be made. Do we split into groups of 2, or shall we stick together? Something tells me splitting up is a bad idea. Scared, Dom? No, I just... Then it's settled. We go right. Ty and his pet husky can go left. Pet husky? What the... Before I could even finish speaking, Axel had dragged Dom by the hand down the right side path. I turned to Ty, my face no doubt telegraphing my offense. I would not worry too much about it if I were you. I mean, this is all so weird. Axel isn't like this. Something has gotten into him. Perhaps he is frustrated that Dom keeps slamming on the brakes. He clearly wants to explore. But the Axel I know wouldn't even have come here. This makes no sense. It is like I said. I would not worry about it. Shall we proceed onward? I sighed. I didn't like that Ty was brushing off my concerns, but what was there I could do? I reluctantly nodded, and Ty and I set off down the left-hand path. As we proceeded inward, we noticed doors on each side of the path. Wanting a closer look, I wandered over to one only to realize it wasn't as much of a door as it was a cell. Ty approached from behind as I shone my flashlight through the bars. That's when I saw... Is that a skeleton? Indeed. Mind passing me the flashlight for a minute? I want to get a closer look. Sure. In compliance with Ty's request, I handed him the flashlight. He then opened the cell door before approaching the bones and kneeling before them. He shone the light up and down the skeleton, analyzing specific attributes before standing up and departing the cell without a word. Well? They are real. Look quite old, too. Jeez, that's really scary. What do they belong to exactly? What, do you not recognize the bones of your own species when you see them? What? They're canid? Indeed. Perhaps they even belong to a husky not unlike yourself. Ty burst into an upbeat yet somewhat sinister chuckle. But I'm hardly versed in the science of osteology. What would I know? I turned my gaze back to the skeleton. Now that he pointed it out, it reminded me of what the X-ray I'd gotten as a kid looked like when I fell over and knocked myself out on an ice skating rink. I shuddered as a cool chill ran up my spine. Suddenly I noticed the light around me growing dim. Turning back around, I noticed Ty was proceeding onward alone. I quickly broke into a jog in order to catch up with him. The two of us continued walking side by side for a good while neither of us having said a word. The hallway seemed to stretch onward forever and ever, but at this point I had long ago lost count of how many cells there were. We surely were nowhere near the abandoned house anymore. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of silence, Ty piped up. Hey, you know... You and I have some privacy now. What do you say we duck into one of these cells and have ourselves a bit of fun? Jeez, Ty, I didn't think this was the right time or place. You sure? I'll make it worth your while, I promise. Thanks, but no thanks. Your loss. I was trying to sleep with me. In a place like this, at a time like this? When the future of our relationship was in question, it did not make any sense to me. I questioned what I truly meant to Ty. Did he really like me in the way I liked him? I couldn't endure this anymore. This uncertainty, this doubt, this fear, this pain. I had to talk to him about it all, ask him point blank. Ty? What? I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest and blunt. Don't dress it up in fancy words and misdirection. I need you to tell me straight. Did you really see a future with me? Did you really think that we could be a good fit? Or was I just a distraction for you? Some kind of amusement? My mind flashed back to what Axel had called me before. Am I just some sort of toy to you? Ty did not reply, his expression remaining blank and seemingly absent. I decided to continue. Because the whole reason I pursued you in the first place is because I thought I could see a future with you. Still do, actually. You tick a lot of boxes for me, but after last night, I just don't know. The wrong reasons? What were they? If any of this is a concern for me, please, I'm 100% on board, but I don't know. Are we on the same page? Do you care about me? That's gonna make me, start having hiccups if I do that. My confusion ascended to new heights as Ty burst into hysterical laughter. My mind busily tried to make sense of what was going on as the laughter continued on until... You absolute fool. Huh? Look at me. I own a business, a house, a car, and have more money than I know what to do with. What do you have, exactly? You're staying at your friend's house with no assets to call your own, no ambitions, no goals or dreams. Nothing. Instead, you rely on the generosity of that friend, the generosity of hard-working business owners such as Lucas and me to exercise clemency. And look at you. What makes you think that someone such as myself, in such incredible shape as I am, would date somebody so ordinary, so plain? Besides, why wouldn't I just go for someone my own age? Someone who has their life together like I do. Hell, why don't I just date Lucas? At least that would be more fairly matched. I couldn't believe what he was saying. It was like he knew my every insecurity and was deliberately hacking away at them to hurt me as much as he could. This wasn't like him. These weren't the words of the Ty I knew. But you were right about one thing. You were a whole. One perfectly suited to being a disposable outlet for my stress and frustration. Disposable? Of course. Alright, I'm gonna pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!